Hello everyone, Wendy and Les here.
We usually like to start these videos off with a nice gratuitous view of some form of water, and there's many to choose from out here. This is the Quispamsis River in Quispamsis, beautiful suburb of St. John. So today what we want to talk about, we're going to show you a few homes that have sold recently. People seem to like those, so we're only going to show you a few because we have a bit of a point to make with them. But we also want to give out a big thanks to all of our viewers because as realtors, Wendy and I just recently passed $20 million of real estate transactions in the less than 2 years that we have been realtors.
Woo-hoo. Now, considering the low price of homes out here, that's pretty darn good for...
So I'm going to throw a couple of numbers at you. We have had 73 transactions helping people to buy or sell homes, mostly buy, in New Brunswick. So an average price works out to $280-some thousand per transaction, which is pretty kind of similar to what the average price of a home has been over the last couple of years. They have gone up a lot recently. But we have, I think our lowest priced transaction was $7,000 for an undeveloped building lot.
It was a steal.
And our highest transaction was a kind of a sort of a mansion for 1.1 million. And then we've done everything in between. We've sold building lots, condos, townhomes, commercial buildings, acreages, and of course a ton of single family homes. And why this is key to us is we've been doing this for less than 2 years. Many realtors don't make that many transactions in a career, so we feel extremely grateful because all of those transactions have come through viewers of our YouTube channel.
Yes, so thank you so much for that. I'm always so humbled.
Yeah, we do not advertise. You won't see our faces on a park bench or the back of a bus. Most of the time, you don't even see our faces on these videos. We don't have a shiny website. We don't do anything other than try to help the viewers of this particular channel, which is what the mandate we started. If you look at the video we did when Wendy first got her license, we just said we wanted to help people who watch our videos because that's been the key for us. We had so many people asking us for help to move in here. We decided to do that. It's been good for us. It's been good for our viewers. And we are incredibly grateful for the trust that people put into us when asking for our help to find them homes in this area.
And we've met some pretty cool people too. We've befriended quite a few of you.
Absolutely. And we're just grateful whether you're a viewer, just curious, whether you're a local and you like our videos, or whether you're actually using them to research moving into this area. We appreciate every one of you. We certainly never dreamed we would have 4,500 plus subscribers, and we certainly never dreamed that 73 of you would have trusted us for your purchase in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we are going to look at about, I don't know, half a dozen homes here in Quispamsis, and there's a key to that. Is there's 3 homes out of these half a dozen or so that we're going to show you that we had one specific client looking at, and we talk all the time about the difference between list prices and sales prices when we do these videos. And so we're going to just make a point of illustrating how that can affect your decision-making process. Now, Wendy and I have gained a lot of experience in this market. We've always, of course, been obsessed with real estate, but in the 2 years that we've been doing realty work here in New Brunswick, we have gained, of course, a lot of valuable experience, and we are wanting to use that to help you if you want it.
Oh, just to also let you know that we're realtors with World of Page Atlantic.
Exactly. So, some people will ask us, we just showed you some beautiful water view homes. What does the average price of a water view home cost out here? And it varies, of course, tremendously. It can be anywhere from $400,000 to well over $1 million. It just depends on the particular home, the location. But if you think about it, an average condo in Toronto these days is about $1 million. So you can get a lot for your money, even though prices have risen substantially. And our first stop is going to be a nice house that is not one of the main ones we're making the point of, but a nice house in this beautiful area that we started this video in.
What is this area called anyways?
You got me on that one. Somewhere around Sherwood Park, but I think it has its own name.
Alrighty.
So as we pull around this little cul-de-sac, you'll see that this beautiful red home here, at the end of the cul-de-sac, that was listed for sale for $575,000, and it sold for $579,000. So very close to the list price. It's a beautiful home and a beautiful lot. I don't think it has a view of the river. I think it would cost more if it did. But just a very recent sale of a beautiful home. So give you an idea of what you're getting for your money here.
Gorgeous.
So we're going to head now to one of the 3 homes that I really want to make a point of showing. And it's not far from here. But yeah, this is Quispamsis, a very popular spot with, especially with young families. Most of the homes have very good sized lots here. They tend to average out about 1/3 of an acre. And they are, slightly more modern homes in general than what we see in the city of St. John. But of course, still very affordable. So Quispamsis has been chosen at various times as being the most livable city in Atlantic Canada, or most livable town. So a view of the river ahead. So there's 3 homes that I really want to make a point of showing here because of the difference in list prices to sale prices. So we had a client, he's already purchased a home, and none of the 3 that I'm about to show you are the home that he's purchased, but this is the first one. So this is a beautiful home, 2-story with a single garage, nice yard in the back, and I think 4 bedrooms in total, and 2.5 baths, if I recall. The details aren't that important, but it was very nicely done inside, and that was listed for sale for $399,000, and it sold for $423,000. So that's normal. So $23,000 over list price. That's right around. You come in, you look at that home, you say, "Yep, it's about what it's worth." So you can get yourself a beautiful home like that for less than $425,000.
Incredible.
So we have a friend named Mike, who was originally a viewer and a subscriber, and then he became a client of ours for real estate, and now he is a friend. And back in June, we were sitting in, can't remember if it was his back deck or our back deck, but we were having a beer together, and he says to us, "What happened to all this fog you promised me?" We've done videos showing the fog in St. John. It is the city on the ocean, so we do get fog there. But we had an absolutely incredible spring, and Wendy and I were playing tennis every day, and there was no fog, and the temperatures were beautifully warm. And I said, "I don't know, Mike. We used to get fog here, but there is climate change and all that sort of thing." And then around the middle of June, everything changed. And so just recently, we had another longtime subscriber named Nathan who asked the question in our comment section, "How are you enjoying all that fog?" So for a month straight, there was nothing but rain and fog and fog and rain. And Mike, the friend who asked us about the fog originally, he had to eat his words. And anyway, the answer I gave to Nathan was that, at a time when it seems like most of the rest of the world is on fire, with scorching hot temperatures and wildfires burning everywhere, I think I'll take the fog.
Yeah, the fog is actually quite nice and cool.
Kept us cool in the evenings. Now it was hard to mow the lawn because the grass was never dry because there was rain intermittently for a month straight, and apparently the St. John region is probably in July going to pass its all-time monthly record for the most rainfall they've ever had.
Yes, it's not normal. The kind of rain that we've been having lately, it's not normal out here. We do have some rainy early months like May and June and stuff.
Yeah, which this year weren't rainy.
Yes, beautiful.
So this is our 6th summer here, and this is the rainiest summer we've had by a long shot. Sometimes it's felt like we're back in Vancouver. But now as we head towards the end of July, and we're hoping for a nice month of beautiful weather. So this is Legend Lane that we're on, another beautiful neighborhood up here in Quispamsis. Lots of trees and just everything green and beautiful. It's on a little bit of a hill, and we're going to show you house number 2 in our comparison, and then we'll talk about the point of it afterwards. And if we can find the little home, it's a bungalow, so a different type of home. And this one, when we get there, next house, we showed our same client this home. Oh, there's somebody out front, so we won't linger here. But this is a very nice home on a good sized lot, and it was priced at $299,000. It had a lovely updated kitchen, but some of the rest of the home could still have used a few more updates. So it wasn't what our client was looking for, but priced at $299,000, it sold for $362,000. So $62,000 higher than the list price. And we do see that quite often. We've talked a little bit about this, but pricing of real estate in this market right now, and contrary to what some people believe, our market never slowed down when some of the other major markets in the country did. So it has remained very competitive. The demand has dropped a little bit, but the supply is very low here. So it's very difficult to find a good home unless you go far out into the rural areas or smaller towns. But there's so much demand that when realtors price a home kind of low, they do that with the intent of eliciting multiple offers. And then, you hear the term bidding war. That's not really an accurate term, because there's no war. You don't get a chance to see what anyone else has bid. But it does tend to generate people a little bit of sense of a panic. And that's the point of pricing a home low, is that people will then possibly offer, the maximum that they can on a home. So that one was priced a little low. It was pretty clear from walking into the home that it was going to sell for quite a bit more than what it was listed for. And I think we had actually advised the client that looked at it that we thought the price would be around that $360 to $380 mark, and it did fall in that range. So house number 3 on that comparison list will come at the end of this video, and we're just going to show you a couple more as we head through and give you a good look at Quispamsis. So we're on a late July day. It's 25 degrees Celsius, gorgeous summer day. You wouldn't know we had record rain, but we're enjoying the sunshine now.
It's a little foggy in St. John today.
It is a little foggy. And that's one thing we've also pointed out. The temperatures in Quispamsis, which is about 20 minutes outside of St. John, outside of the middle of St. John, temperatures here tend to be warmer in the summer. And that's something that some people really like. Wendy and I personally, we prefer the fog and the cooler temperatures that we get living by the ocean. But we understand that some people just want to lie out in the sun on their back deck, start raving naked and just getting a nice tan. All right, so we just we actually passed one of the homes I was going to point out because I was babbling on, but it was another one that sold $62,000 over list price. It was a little side split. It was listed at $279,000, sold for $342,000. But if we take a quick look to our left,
wait until the cars all pass here.
I'm going to show you a little bungalow that we saw very recently. This is a very recent sale. Tiny little 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, but a very cute move-in ready home. And if you were looking for something affordable in this market, like still really affordable, we would have pointed this one out to you if you were okay with a smaller home. This was listed at $200,000 and sold a little bit below that at $192,000, with a nice private long backyard. You can see from the traffic, it's a bit of a busier street, but it was an absolutely adorable little dollhouse that could have been had for just under $200,000.
Yeah, so we can still find some value in less expensive homes out here. They're still available.
Not as common as they once were.
No, that's for sure.
They tend to be a bit of a needle in a haystack, but when our client has a budget, and if that's the budget, we will turn over every stone to try and find them something that works for them.
Yes.
So, being as we don't do any advertising, we don't do anything like that, unfortunately, it is just the two of us, and sometimes being 100% committed to the clients that have trusted us to help them means that it takes time away from our videos. And so we did say recently that we're going to do videos when we have something to talk about, and we have to find time and find a reason to be out doing the video. Today we think it's worth talking about the difference between list prices and sale prices. So that's what we're doing. And in the meantime, we get to show you a few views of the river that we did, and we're showing you the beautiful big green trees. Sometimes there's an impression that there's no green space in this area, and it couldn't be more wrong.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Sure. Parks are everywhere. Trees. There's terrain. I wouldn't call it big BC mountains, but there's very intricate terrain. The geological influences here are just enormous. So where we're heading now is going to be from Quispamsis into Rothsay, and we're going to show you the third home that this one client looked at. And you're going to see the big difference between some sale prices and some list prices. Seen quite a bit of tourism coming back to the province this summer. We've noticed too there was some major flooding in Halifax this week, and so I think some tourists may have detoured their visits to Halifax because we've seen a real uptick in some visitors in this area. It's wonderful to see. We just had another cruise ship in port in St. John the other day. It was the Zandam from Holland America. It made its first ever visit to St. John, and we have actually 10 cruise ships this season that are making their first ever trips to St. John. So the word is getting out, not just to people looking to move, but people looking for tourism as well. There's much more demand for cruises to come into our beautiful city.
So explain to me why you think inventory is so low in the area.
Well, a lot of people are chalking that up to the fact that people locked into mortgages during the pandemic when the rates were extremely low. And now if they sell their home and want to buy something else, they would probably have to get a new mortgage at a much higher interest rate. So there seems to be a definite unwillingness for people, not just here, but across the country, to sell their homes. It's more pronounced here because people in general don't buy and sell their homes. We see just so many people that have stayed in the one home from the moment they got married until they went into a nursing home. They raised their families in those homes and they just don't sell. So that's why we get it even a little bit more pronounced here. And then, of course, this is one of the most affordable places in the country. So, it's one thing to sell your home in Toronto and move out here and pocket a bunch of money. But if you're already in the most affordable place, why would you leave and go somewhere else?
Yeah, it's also a very, very nice place to live. It's the people here are very friendly. There's lots to do. There's the terrain, the water. there's hiking, there's swimming, there's sailing, there's just everything that you could ever imagine doing out here.
ATV trails for
Yes.
people in the summer, and they use the same ones for snowmobiling in the wintertime. There's just never ending. You know, you can be out kayaking in the summer on the river, and then in the winter you can be out ice fishing and walk out onto the river.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
This is like the central business district area of the Rothsay Quispamsis. So it's kind of like a strip. It's Hampton Road, and these people are blocking the place that I need to turn, which is unfortunate.
So this area has everything that a person could possibly need. There's grocery stores and pubs and restaurants. And what's the population of Rothsay and what's the population of Quispamsis?
Well, at last check, Rothsay was 12,000 people. Quispamsis was 18,000. They are connected, so a lot of people just think of it as one area with about 30,000 people. But those numbers might be out of date because this area is growing so ridiculously quickly. So 30,000 plus, and they are within minutes of St. John. So straight ahead of us now, and I'm going to do a little dip-de-doo turn here, is the final house on our tour this time. And as you can see, beautiful big split entry, raised bungalow, whatever you want to call it, with a double garage. I'll get another view here. And as I said, this was a home we showed to our client. So I've been in that home. It's beautiful. It's big, finished up and down. Absolutely gorgeous home on a gorgeous lot. Walking distance to all of the amenities of Rothsay, in just wonderful condition. So then this home, you would think, would be priced similarly to the first home in our choice of three. But this house was actually listed at $299,000. So it was listed at the same price as the middle home. And this one actually sold for more than the other two. So this one, selling price was $435,000. So our client offered on the first one and this one, and only limited by their budget. They were in the backup offer in both homes, but they did bid according to what the value was of these homes and not according to the list price. And that's why in both cases, they were the backup offer, again, just limited by their budget. They didn't bid on the middle one, but they saw, they knew approximately what that would go for too. So we helped them navigate the situation, and they could see the value, the market value. We showed them the comps in the area, and we knew that this one would sell for way more than it was listed for. I'm sure this listing realtor probably knew that too, and that was their plan. I think they got somewhere around 25 offers, give or take, on this home, and it sold for 45% more than what it was listed for. So the market value, though, was right where it sold for. It was pretty easy to see because, we get to look at all the recent sales. We get to see what the quality of the different homes is and how they match up. So if you need help with that, because it seems to be the first question that our clients ask us is, do the houses sell for what they're listed for? And the answer is it depends. Everything is based on a strategy that's employed by sellers and the realtors to get the most interest in the home and to get the best market value. And generally speaking, everything is going to sell right around what you would think it would. And when you see something that seems like it's an extremely good deal, it just won't be by the time it sells, because there's so many people looking and nothing ends up flying under the radar. And so anyway, that is what we do. So you had 3 homes there, 2 priced at $299,000 that sold way over those prices, and one that was priced close to its market value and just sold a little bit over. And that's kind of where we're at. Selling prices is not like going into the grocery store and buying a loaf of bread where the price you see is the price you pay. It just depends on many different factors, and we are here to help you through that. So if you are one of the people that is still thinking of moving into this area and you need some help, do give us a call or an email, whatever you like, and we'll try to help the best we can. In the meantime, hope you've enjoyed the view of Quispamsis and a little bit of Rosse, and we will probably see you in the next video, I would think.
Alrighty, well, Quispamsis and Rosse, very close to St. John, very beautiful neighborhoods, and another reason why we love St. John.